progressive overload at number 5. Now we're going to explain what progressive is and what overload is, to know what progressive overload literally means before we're going to relate it to fitness, to muscle building, right? So progress basically means improvement, right? Steady development. And overload means putting something excessive, like something excessive beyond what it can carry at that time. Right? Now, progressive overload means developing excessiveness gradually. And what does this mean in relations to muscle building, in relations to muscle building? When you say progressive overload in muscle building, you're talking about increasing the intensity of whatever you're carrying, whatever activity you're doing in the gym, increasing that intensity progressively, gradually, right? Now, it is very important to start learning gradually. And that is the reason why even when we were in school, they didn't start teaching us like multiplication. We started with addition, right? We started learning ABC. We didn't start learning sentences. We started learning 2-letter words. We didn't start learning 4, 5, 7-letter words. But we got to some point when we were too big for ABC. We were too big for addition. Then we started with multiplication. 1 times 1, 2. 1 times 2. You know. Then we started the big numbers, and the time came that they started introducing letters, alphabets. Right? Now, why? Because our cells are meant to get used to whatever we put into them. Our cells, not just our muscles. Everything we learn today, our brain is designed to adapt. Our brain is designed to adapt. When you learn something today, it gets to your prefrontal lobe, to your frontal lobe, and once you learn it, it goes back to your hippocampus. You're ready to learn another thing, ready to learn something harder. Right? So the muscle is just like that. When you put a pressure on it, with time it will get used to that pressure, and whatever effect it has on that muscle is not going to have it anymore. So for your muscles to continue to get pressure, and remember, pressure brings growth, right? So for your muscles to continue having pressure, the muscles need to continue feeling pressure. And if you start lifting weight, if you start your fitness journey lifting 5 kg, you can't continue lifting 5 kg forever, because at some point, 5 kg will do nothing to your muscles. Your muscles will have already adapted to 5 kg, right? So 5 kg will do nothing. Then you start to progress. You start to overload your workouts, right? Now, what are the methods of progressive overload? There are different ways that you can progress. There are different ways that you can overload your workout to progress, right? And one of them is by increasing number of sets. You start working out, we give you maybe 1 set of a program or 2 sets of a program. Gradually, you increase it. 3 sets, they come in time 4 sets. You guys now, you do like 10 sets of programs, right? Now some people will look at 10 sets, like 10 sets of programs, that is excessive. But if you do 5 sets, your muscles might not benefit anything, because your muscles might have gotten used to 5 sets. Only 10 sets can benefit the muscles now, right? So progressive. Now you can also overload the repetitions, reps. Now you start, your squat with 5 reps. You want to grow next time, maybe 6, maybe 7, up onto 10, 15, 20. Another way to progress is resting time. Come to the gym, bench press, bench press this, and rest for 90 seconds, 1 minute, 30 seconds, right? Next time you come, maybe after a week or a month, you come and you rest for 60 seconds. Then there'll come a time where 60 seconds is going to feel too long for you. Then you bring it down to 30 seconds. It's all progress. It's all progress, right? Now, for your muscle to grow, it always has to be under tension. Always has to be under tension. always has to be under tension. So that is where progressive training will come. If you want to grow your muscles, you can never grow your muscles without overloading your progress. Right? Never. Now, the next is heavy compound lifting. Now pay attention to this. Pay attention to this. It is not heavy lifting. It is heavy compound lifting. We all know what compound exercises are, right? Exercises that recruit multiple muscles at the same time. The opposite is isolation workouts. Workouts that engages so many joints movements. So at the same time, you are using multiple muscles. Do you understand? Now, for your muscles to grow, there are certain hormones that your body releases, that your body uses to make muscle growth possible, to make growth possible. Right? Growth hormones like testosterone, right? Hormones like somatotropin, that is the human growth hormone, right? Are very key to muscle growth. And these hormones are greatly released by our body if we lift heavy compound workouts, right? And what are compound workouts basically? Which workouts fall under compound workouts? We're talking about squats, we're talking about the deadlift, we're talking about bench press, these are compound workouts, we're talking about pull-ups, right? The military press, all these are compound workouts. So it's always advisable to go heavy on this. Not all the time, yeah, definitely not all the time, but once in a very short period of time. Right? Like maybe every chest day before you go light on your flies, or like you go heavy on bench press for your first 3 or first 2 sets. Right? Recruit these things. And what other benefits do compound lifting have to the body? High rate of metabolism, high metabolic rate. When you lift heavy, your body develops this thing that we call rested metabolism, or BMR, however you call it. Right? Where you use energy, your body recruits energy, even when you are not doing anything. Why? Because you have muscles now, you have a little bit of muscles now that your body, they need energy to function. They need energy to function, right? So, even when you are not doing anything, your body burns fat. That is rested metabolism, and that is why if you want to lose weight, you don't just, it is not 100% advisable for you just to do cardio. You also lift weights. I always say that doing cardio is like day trading, and lifting weights is like the long-term thing. Why? Because when you do cardio, when you are running on the treadmill, the moment you get down from the treadmill, you stop burning fat. Your body don't stop to be burn fat. But when you lift weights, when you stop lifting the weights, when you stop lifting the weights, that is it. That is not it, rather. Hours later, days later, you still be burning fat. Right? You know. So basically, then also lifting heavy activates more muscle fibers. It activates. There are actually 2 types of muscle fibers. The type 1 muscle fiber and type 2 muscle fibers. Type 1 muscle fibers is also called the slow twitch, and type 2 is called the fast twitch. Right? When you do cardiovascular activities, when you do running and everything, your body just recruits the type 1 muscle fibers. But when you do some intense, some power, like sprinting, like lifting weights, your body recruits more muscle fibers. Now just the surface muscle fibers is not going to do more muscle fibers, and that will make the muscle grow because it is activating more muscle fibers. Right? So that is why lifting heavy when it comes to compound workouts is very important. I don't even advise lifting heavy in isolation because that is very dangerous. It can because you are just using one muscle. So you can't just use one muscle and lift heavy. It's risky. So, but lifting heavy when it comes to compound workouts is very important for muscle growth now. Right? Now, number 3, hydration. This point is taken so on serious in the gym, less people drink water when working out. Less people drink water after working out. But it's very important. Now, before I even explain why drinking water is important for muscle growth, I'd like to tell you the composition of water in the body, our body generally. We are made up of water. Our body is 60% water. As we dinner like this now, water will be. You understand? Like the earth itself is how many percent water? It's like 70% of water, right? The earth itself. Right? But our organs now, I like to point out some compositions, right? Like our brain is 73% water. Our kidney 79% of water. Sneeze if you want to sneeze. Right? Our heart 73% water. Our lungs is 3% of water. Our skin 64%. The blood itself is 50% of water. Our liver is 75%, and our muscles 79% of water. Right? So, if a building is made up of cement and there is a crack, what do you use to repair that building? Cement, right? If you want to make a building stronger, what do you use on that building? Cement. Is that also? Now, our muscles is largely made up of water. What do we use to, water, basically, right? Now, aside from that as well, when we eat food, when we absorb protein, how do you think these nutrients, when we absorb nutrients, how do we think this nutrient is transported around the organs of the body? How do you think they are transported? Do you think there is like a shuttle bus inside our bodies that transport? No. Water basically transports nutrients from where they are supposed to go to. Water, right? So the protein that we eat that is good for the muscles, when we eat the protein, when the body has finished synthesizing the protein, right, which is also possible by water. That's protein synthesis itself is possible, is aided by water, right? Now, when the whole protein synthesis is not finished, what transports the protein to the muscles? Water. Right? It's water. So it's very important for us to drink water. Like I myself too, I fail. I don't. Sometimes I work out, I forget to drink water even after workout. Right? But it is important to. In fact, when you work out and you drink water while working out, it's going to lubricate your joints. It's going to lubricate your joints. You're going to have less. I posted this video one time on TikTok. My highest viewed TikTok video, getting to 100. Something that doesn't relate to fitness like before. I was having this muscle spasm. Is that how they pronounce it? Yeah.
SPA.
SPASM. Spasm, right? I was having it here. And I remember at that period was when I started training my face muscles. You can train your face muscles by always doing the vowel sounds. A-E-I-O-U, like I-O, like exaggerating the sounds. It will train your face muscles. So at that point I was having muscle contractions, muscle spasms. And I remember when I went for my Lagos marathon at 28 kilo, I told you at 28 kilometers that my calves packed. Right? Now, when I posted that video on TikTok, asking, everything they happen, like it was packing. I'm going to show you guys. That was when I discovered that my electrolyte level was low. Right? My electrolyte level was low. And what is the function of electrolyte in the body? Electrolyte is basically a mineral that helps to balance your water level. Right? Now, if your water level is low or is high, you're going to have weakness of the muscles. You're going to have muscle spasm, however you pronounce it, muscle contraction, fatigue, and all of that. Now, drinking water helps to increase the rate of electrolytes in your body. Right? Now, in that case, not like in my case, it wasn't purely water, but salt too. Salt too helps to balance sodium, helps to balance electrolytes in the body. But when you drink water, it helps too, right? To increase electrolytes in your body, in your muscles, to avoid muscle contraction, muscle weakness, fatigue, spasm, and all of that. Right? Now, hydration is very good for muscle growth. Very, very good. Now, habits and ritual. Habits and ritual. Habits and ritual. In fact, habits and ritual should even be like number one, say, habits and ritual are very important for the development of anything. Muscles, finance, health, like whatever you want to develop. Habits and ritual. Rituals now, habits and rituals means doing the same thing over and over and over and over again. In the gym, basically, we call it a routine. This now, a routine, right? But I choose to call it here. I choose to call it habits and ritual, because doing one thing over and over and over and over again, it is a habit. If you do something today, it might not be a habit. You do it tomorrow, it might not be a habit. You do it next tomorrow, you are developing a habit now. Now, if you do something the same way you do it all the time, it is a ritual. Right? So, habits and rituals, very important. Now, if you look at the top, like I was telling you guys the other time, if you look at the top people in any field, right? It is not even about like if they want to achieve something, if they want to get somewhere, there is the kind of person that they need to be, right? There is the kind of person that they need to be. There is this concept. Be, do, have. Have you heard about this? Have you seen it? Be, do, have. Now, lots of people are trying to have before they do, before they be. But the concept of growth suggests or says that you have to be the person that will do so that you can have whatever you want to have. Right? And this being, you cannot be this without having some rituals. So if you want to have muscles, you must do what people who have muscles do. But before you do this, you need to be the person that does this. Right? And being this person, if I go out now, they already know me. Gym person, like fitness person. Why? I'm not the only person that have muscle walking in the streets, right? But they already know that by this time, he always passes this road. And where does he go? To the gym. And by this time, he always passes this road. Where is he coming from? From the gym. They already know that by this time, he is already at the gym, right? That predictability, it is all about habits and ritual. Being. Do you understand? Now, how does this streamline to, workout? Having specific programs. That's what I'm talking about. Having specific programs to do, daily. If you come today, you know what you want to do, and you do it. Right? If you come tomorrow, you know what you want to do, and you do it. You don't have to come tomorrow for you to decide what to do. It is already there. You know that if you come today, if you come tomorrow, this is the part of the body that you're going to work. And even in working the part of the body, these are the programs that you're going to do. It's very important for muscle growth. Very important for muscle growth. Right? Now, number one, which is obvious. Very obvious. But many people don't follow this. Is recovery. Very obvious, right? Good. Not obvious. But recovery, rest, basically, rest is very important. Now you ask people how many hours they sleep a day, and they tell you they don't have time to sleep and all of that. You know, you can't sleep up to 7, 8 hours. Yeah, as adults, we are still broke, right? We haven't made money, so why should we sleep up to 8 hours? But recovery now does not necessarily mean sleep. It means allowing the muscles to recover. Sleep too is very good. In fact, a high dose of somatotrophin, the human growth hormone, is released when we sleep. A high dose of it, right? So sleep too is very important. Like, you should have a good sleep. But there's what we call deep rest. You just sit down and you are not necessarily doing any activity, like you are in a state of deep rest. It is also good. Now, another phase of recovery is not training the muscles that you have trained for minimum of 36 hours. Minimum of 36 hours. Because it is proven that muscles take between 36 hours and 48 hours to fully recover. If you train the muscles today and you go ahead tomorrow to train the muscles, you are not helping the muscles because the muscles is not going to grow. When you grow muscles, the muscles are made up of fibers. When you put pressure on them, you tear them. You are tearing the muscles. You are inflicting injury, damage on the muscles, and that is why you feel that burning sensation, that soreness when you work out, because you are actually tearing the muscles. For the muscles to develop now, they need time to rest and recover. Then there is no time in the history of building muscles that we tear the muscle and the muscle heals and it goes back to the way it was. Even if the growth is like 0.0000%, it's still good. And we all know what accumulation is. It keeps accumulating. That is why it takes time for you to actually see progress, right? Because it takes time to accumulate, right? Recovery, very, very important. And it also helps in the routine. Or rather, the routine also helps in recovery. Because if you plan your routine very well, you are going to plan it in a way where you're not going to, or rather, you're going to work in muscle just like 2 or 3 times a week. So the other times, they have time to recover, they have time to heal, right? Now, these are the 5 pro tips, but I have a bonus tip, and that is also obvious. Protein. It's protein. You can never have, let me not say you can never have enough of protein though, but you can hardly never have enough of protein from natural foods, basically. That is why you see all these bodybuilders like killing themselves with protein powders and crates of egg and all. Muscle is also largely made of protein, right? So you need to feed it protein. And aside from that, protein plays a very big role in the recovery process, right? In the recovery process. Remember I told you that when you are recovering is when your muscle heals, and your muscle cannot heal without protein. Protein is the nutrient that makes your muscles to repair and recover. Right? So when you are in your rested mood now, protein synthesis will happen. Like your muscle will repair. All because of protein. And you can't have enough of protein, like I told you earlier, because it is the recommended dosage for protein is 1 gram to 1 pound of your weight, not 1 kg now, like 1 pound of your weight. Right? So here now, how many grams of protein do we eat in a day? Very less. Right? So for you to make your muscle grow, you need to load up on protein. When you load up on protein, your muscle will recover faster. You'll be able to load the muscle with more weight faster, and the muscles will grow. Right? So these are the tips. The muscle growth. If you have any questions, I'll take questions.
So for I weigh 69 kg.
Yeah.
So how many grams of protein should I have?
Oh, you have to calculate it. I think 1 pound is I think 0.5 kg to 0.5, 0.45 to 1 pound. So you do the maths. you do the maths. You convert your kg to pound, and whatever it gives you, 1 kg. So if it gives you 100 and like 30 something, that means recommended dosage, protein dosage, 130 something grams
per day.
You know, and that is why it is very important to eat protein again, because unlike carbohydrates, when you eat carbohydrates, your body has excessive carbohydrates, stored carbohydrates. So when you eat carbohydrates, it doesn't really your body doesn't really require that. So it's going to store as fat. Protein doesn't store because it is always we are always, the body is always using it. The body has less of it. So load of protein. So your calculation.
Again, so for us now that we can afford, let's say, to buy 1 plate of egg and fish and necessary proteins, and it's not advisable again to take. Is it not advisable to take like to put your money in protein powder, since you cannot buy fish?
If you can afford protein powder, then you can afford eggs.
The protein powder will last longer, because let's say you buy protein powder of, let's say, 50k, and it lasts for at least a month. But if you are buying fish every day, every other day, you spend more than that 50k.
The fish, I won't even.
I'm just saying this is an example.
If it's natural food sources, I recommend more eggs.
Okay, let's say eggs are like how much now?
Fish. So now you are going to look at it. The protein powder of the 50k that you are talking about, how many servings are we talking about?
40 I think, I'm not sure.
Now, if protein powder, if is 40k, if 40 servings of protein powder is 50k, that means 1 serving. That means that protein powder will take you 40 days.
Let's say 37, I'm not sure.
Okay, 37 days.
Yeah.
Now, that will take you 30 days. Now, each serving now is 25 grams of protein. Each serving is 25 grams of protein. Right? Now, how much are eggs?
1 is 200.
1 is 200. Then 1,000 worth of egg in a day is 4 eggs.
It's 5 eggs.
5 eggs, right? Yes. Good, 5 eggs. 1 egg is averagely 6 grams of protein. Okay? 1 egg is averagely 6 grams of protein. So if you are talking about 5 eggs, 1,000, then you are talking about like 30 grams of protein, right? So that means if you have 50,000, you can be taking 30 grams of protein for 50 days. Assuming our inflation rate is 30. Do you understand?
Because they said for my body, we can eat 9 eggs every day.
9 eggs now every day. Just like I said, giving 9 eggs every day might not be even enough. Because 9 eggs every day is how many grams? You calculate like 9 times 6. Basically 9 times 6. And now 48, but okay, pass, but anyways, I'm not a mathematician again, you know. So still 9. You see these guys eating crate of egg, like you see 10 eggs, you see chicken breast, you still see, because they are trying to meet up. But the fact that you can't meet up doesn't mean you shouldn't just eat what you can afford to eat. Do you understand? But I always advise that if all you have is to buy protein powder, that money is going to be more beneficial for you if you buy eggs. Right? If you can eat 5 eggs a day, it's going to be way more beneficial than taking 1 scoop of protein powder, because 1 scoop of protein powder is basically just protein. But eggs has everything except vitamin C. Everything. And that's why it's called a superfood. That's everything. So, question?
Okay. For me now, like that, I'm a fresher, and my aim is just I want to grow muscles. After I follow all these tips, how many months will it take for me to start my muscles?
Just focus on muscles. Yeah, that is relative on so many things. Right? Number one, let's assume you are consistent. Right? It depends on how you show up, how often you show up. Show up every day. Right? Kind of programs that you do. Right? Then greatly again, it is also dependent on your genetics. We've seen people here that, okay, now see Haru, right? Haru came, he was already looking, but he had never lifted weights right? So those ones now, in a short period of time, you see them. But there are some people, okay, this question now will make me explain something. There are 3 body types: mesomorphs, endomorphs, ectomorphs. Ectomorphs are the lanky kind of people, that, you know, the slim kind of people. Who will I use as an example now?
Goodness.
Goodness is, yeah, like that. He's an ectomorph, you know, lanky. It will take them time to build muscles, right? Because their rate of metabolic, their metabolic rate is super high, so they are always on a calorie deficit, right? Ola too, let's say Ola na ectomorph. Somewhere, okay, you can be hybrid, you can be ectomorphic endomorph, you can be endomorphic mesomorph, right? Depending on how you study yourself, right? Then endomorphs now are like the fat people who their metabolic rates are so slow, they find it very difficult to burn fat, and very hard. They find it hard to burn fat and easy to gain it, right? Then there are the mesomorphs. The mesomorphs are naturally athletic, easy to burn, easy to gain, depending on. So if they are on a cut, now they don't cut. If they are on a bulk, now they don't bulk. So it depends on you as a person. You as a person. Do you understand? If I look at you now, I will say you now like this, you are like an ectomorph. Yeah, you are an ectomorph, right? So if you now you want to build muscles, considering the fact again that you are a girl and you don't have much testosterone, the body doesn't develop much testosterone, so naturally it is even very impossible for you to build muscles as big as this. You are just going to build muscle into your size. You can't even build muscles as big as this unless you have some kind of hormonal imbalance, that you have more testosterone, you know, than you should have, right? So I can't tell you how many years you can build, but what I can tell you is in about 3 months you start seeing noticeable changes in your body. In 3 months, right? They always say, I haven't proven it, but they always say 4 weeks you will start seeing your changes. 4 weeks, after 4 weeks you will start noticing, because nobody knows your body better than you do. Then after 8 weeks, people close to you will start seeing noticeable changes. Then after 12 weeks, everybody will start noticing it. Everybody will start noticing it. So it depends on all these variables. Right? Yeah. Anyway.
So which one do I follow under? Mesomorph, endomorph?
You now, I'll place you under mesomorphic ectomorph.
In between ecto and mesomorph.
You are more of a mesomorph, but you have a bit of ectomorphic characteristics. Right? So even if you want to be fat now, it might be very difficult for you, right? But building muscles now is quite easy for you. Right? However, me, I am a mesomorphic endomorph. If I want to be fat by next month, I will be fat by next month. If I want to be shredded as hell by next month, I will be shredded as hell by next month. Right? So that's it. So no more questions. Good. So I'll see you guys next Saturday. Thank you.
Thank you to both.